Hi there, everyone. My name is Vishal Seni, and I'm an instructor at AP2V Solutions. And I would like to welcome you all to the course Docker Administration. Before I give you the outline and introduction of the course, let me introduce myself. I actually started working in IT industry with the open source technologies almost a decade ago. Right? And after working for IBM for almost 6 years, I started working in AP2V Solution as a full-time consultant and instructor. Right? And I actually teaches a lot of trending technologies in the market, like cloud computing, on all the cloud platforms, Azure, AWS, OpenStack, the DevOps tools like Jenkins and Gits and the Ansibles and Puppets. Also, the microservices like Docker, Kubernetes. I'm a certified Kubernetes professional, and I'm planning to write my Docker certification as well. Right now, coming back to the topic, coming back to the course. This course is related to how to manage the Docker, right? Do the Docker administration task, manage and create, configure, manage the containers based upon the topic, right? So as you can see, the duration of the course is 24 hours, right? So it basically gets covered up within 1 month or 1.5 months, right? So if you look at the contents, the total number of chapters which we have in this particular curriculum is 9, right? And which gives you the basic to the advanced level of administration on the right. So if I give you the introduction of the chapters, chapter number first is all theory, where we are going to cover up the basics of what exactly containerizations is, right? And what's the difference between the older solutions, IT solutions, and containers, right? So what is container, how it's getting created, what's the difference between the older solutions and the latest one, what exactly the Docker is, right? All those concepts will be covered up in the first topic. The second one would be installing the Docker. So you can have your Docker installed on any of the machines, right? We preferred using the Linux operating system, but that doesn't mean that you cannot install it on Windows. You can have it on the Windows as well. So I'll tell you the differences between the two and how exactly those two things get operated in the class itself, right? Chapter number 3 is managing containers. As you can see, it is all about creating the containers and see its operation, how it runs, how do you start, stop, remove, copying file in and out, taking the excess of it, inspecting and updating the containers, then the configuring a Docker container to start and boot. All those things will be covered up in the chapter number 3. Chapter number 4 is how to create the images, right? So we'll be learning about how to create the images for the Docker containers to run, right? So it's all about customizing your application depending upon the requirements. So that's managing the images is all about. We are not talking about Docker file in this case, but yes, there are a couple of more options to create your own customized image. So that's something which we are going to cover up in chapter number 4. And yes, chapter number 5 is all about Dockerfile, right? So how to create the image from the scratch from the Dockerfile. This is small program, right? So it's small program, small instructions which you have to pass into a file, and eventually the Docker daemon is going to listen or read that file and create the infrastructure as per the requirement. Chapter number 6 is all about storage. So we're going to talk about volumes, what is bind mounts, what is temporary files, right? What is Docker volumes, how to create them, how to get it attached to your container, how to keep the data inside it, all those things, the backups and the mappings, something which we are going to cover up in chapter number 6. Chapter number 7 is Docker Compose, which is more into the orchestration. Right? So how do you do the orchestration of Docker is something which we are going to cover up in Docker Swarm and Docker Compose. Right? Eighth chapter is related to networking, which is again very important. To be very frank, we're talking about the communication which is happening between the containers on the same node, on the different node. What's the private network? What is overlay? How the overlay works? Everything like related to SDN and all is something which we are going to cover up on chapter number 8. And last but not the least is chapter number 9, which is basically getting your image shared across to multiple users across the globe using the Docker Hub repository. So we'll be creating the repositories there, we'll be uploading the image, we'll be downloading the image. We'll do a couple of operations related to it and see how exactly that image is being exposed or shared across the community. So this is the introduction of this course. Hope to see you soon in the class. Stay safe. Take care. Bye-bye.